Hello, this is the Made in Kazakhstan project. My name is Anton Fedorov, and I continue to explore the production opportunities of the Kazakh capital. In this episode, you will learn about how mechanical engineering is reviving in Kazakhstan. You will see big and very expensive toys for real men. Are you ready? Let's get started. In this episode, I will show you the production of multi-purpose vehicles for municipal activities. You will also learn about the unique, innovative production of armored vehicles that can withstand even a mine explosion. We will also visit a factory where locomotives for trains are made from huge sheets of metal. Toys have always attracted men. And the older a man gets, the larger his toys become. As a child, I could only dream of such a car, so now I can already afford this one. Of course, I won't need such a car, but in the urban economy, this vehicle is irreplaceable. Today, perhaps there is not a single city in the world that would not be faced with the problem of garbage or snow removal. In the capital of Kazakhstan, winters are harsh, there is a lot of snow, so the use of efficient municipal equipment for the city is very important. So I'm in the special economic zone of Nur-Sultan. Here, on the area of 5,000 square meters, there is a plant for the production of municipal equipment. This machinery is an innovation in the field of Kazakhstan mechanical engineering. It meets all international standards and requirements, and materials from leading European manufacturers are used for its assembly. This plant uses the latest equipment that accelerates the production of vehicles. But the advantage of the products of this enterprise is not in the speed of production of communal equipment, but in the multi-purpose use of vehicles. The market for municipal equipment is large. From the point of view of special products, it is quite undeveloped because, as a rule, there are standard solutions that are used in Kazakhstan, and non-standard ones are all of European production. So we focused on the production of non-standard efficient cars. Housing and communal services can't operate without specialized equipment, ensuring the smooth operation of all urban systems. At this enterprise, the solution of communal issues was approached from an economic point of view. Today, almost the entire solid waste disposal market has been given over to private hands. Private traders, as a rule good business executives, began to count money, and they began to consider the efficiency of a car, how much a car can take out in one trip. The second point, how convenient it is for the driver to drive this car, because the working conditions are not simple. The driver works all day. He needs to be attentive all day. He should be in comfort with air conditioning. Drivers need to drive into narrow places in every yard, be super attentive, put everything together correctly. That's what they started to pay attention to. The multi-purpose of the equipment produced at this enterprise has helped to significantly increase the efficiency of the utilities. Now machines are smaller, they can do more tasks, and drivers are always comfortable and safe. Cleaning the streets from garbage is typical for any city. Earlier, we could see old, bulky, dilapidated trucks which not only could not cope with the volume of garbage, but also obstructed traffic. Today, the streets of Kazakhstan cities can be cleaned by such compact mobile cars that can take out much more solid household waste. The company has its own design bureau, which models the parameters and functionality of the future car depending on the customer's requirements. It all starts with creating a bunker, in simple terms, a body. With the help of welding, it is produced here at the enterprise. When the bunker is ready, it is sent for painting. Even the smallest details are taken into account in the production of such equipment. Spanish paint is used to color the vehicles. It is resistant to humidity, temperature changes, precipitation, and also protects the bunker from light mechanical damage.
Легких механических повреждений.
Our car is very maneuverable because it is very small in size, but at the same time it can take out a lot of garbage. It is able to enter any yard, pick up the garbage completely calmly without disturbing anyone. The driver's cab is special in this utility vehicle. Before being installed on a platform with a chassis, the cab undergoes a crash test for safety. Tests have shown that in case of collision, to reduce the force of the impact and protect the driver, the cab is shifted back by 50 centimeters. Tell me, is it difficult to drive such a big car? For me, as well as for any driver, no. There are 3 cameras here: left, right, and back. Here, now we see the back. Here is the left. Here is the right. Everything is visible. Mirrors show everything. They are adjustable from the inside. They are electric. I even see several mirrors. Yes, of course. These are side, front, and 2 standard right and left. That is, the driver has a full view. There is even such a mirror to see small-sized cars because large-sized cars have a blind spot. And such a mirror is specially made for the blind spot. Even with my 2 meters, I feel quite comfortable.
В этот автомобиль и чувствую себя довольно уютно.
Nur-Sultan, tell us more. Is this car equipped with GPS navigation? Necessarily. Our car is equipped with GPS navigation. It can view where the car is going and where the car is still working. For example, there is a power take-off device. Well, and the most important thing in the cabin is, of course, a good view, a feeling of safety, and a pleasant smell of a new car.
Безопасности и приятный запах нового автомобиля.
The frame of the truck is made of high-quality steel, which is 20% thicker than that of the cars of the same class from other manufacturers. Carrying capacity of the machine is 20 tons. The engine guarantees high power even at low revs. Power steering with dual pneumatic braking system provides high maneuverability and flotation. In any case, there is always responsibility, because you are responsible for the quality of products, and as a member of the EEC, Eurasian Economic Community, we have certain obligations in terms of localization and investments. These obligations exist, but we are concerned not only with obligations to someone, but first of all, obligations to ourselves. This is the most important thing. We need to make a product that is interesting to customers in the market. Our product must be in demand. They must have a long period of operation, and thirdly, the clients should be satisfied. Today, the products of the enterprise are in demand not only in Kazakhstan's market. The products of this plant are known in many CIS countries. Consumers of such equipment have already learned to trust the Made in Kazakhstan brand. The previous enterprise, which specializes in the production of utility vehicles, occupies the area of 5,000 square meters. For comparison, this plant is located at the territory of 13,000 square meters. This is because the enterprise has its own test site where the plant tests own products. Military armored vehicles.
Бронированные автомашины.
This enterprise is a strategic object. It was opened in 2015 and became completely new for Kazakhstan. Only few countries in the world have such factories. Here they produce such armored monsters. These military vehicles are unique in all their characteristics. Their creation begins with the design department, which is headed by this person, Ilgiz Safiuddin. His field of responsibility is the technical specification of each vehicle. We do all the necessary calculations. That is, these are thrust calculations, ballistics calculations, mine protection calculations. We determine the engine power and so on. The next step is product layout. Since we mainly have wheeled vehicles, accordingly, this is the selection of an engine, suspension, some materials for the manufacture of this or that body, and so on. After the designer's ideas are fixed on paper, the assembly of combat vehicles begins. First, the plant receives Swedish steel in the form of such armor plates. This steel is used to create the capsule of the future machine. In a more understandable language, to create a body. The thickness of this steel may vary depending on the type of vehicle. Its peculiarity is that when heated, this steel retains its shape and does not burst. Working with metal of such thickness and strength is possible only on special equipment. At this plant, units of enormous power are installed, which can easily cope even with such a metal. Next, the armor sheets go to this water jet machine, which cuts them using a unique technology. A strong jet of water with sand is applied to the metal under strong pressure. Then, steel is easy to work with. Future capsule fragments are cut from the armor plates. Further, the cut armor sheets fall under such a hydraulic press, which, under a weight of 600 tons, bends the metal and forms parts of the future capsule from it. Now it is necessary to assemble the body of the future car from the fragments made. At this stage, all the components of the capsule go to the welding workshop. Here, the plant workers pull all the parts together. Once the body is ready, it is painted and then filled with working systems. The capsule is going through the assembly of all systems. That is the pneumatic system, the chassis system, the air conditioning system, the heating system, the engine. Then, after assembly, the product is tested. The production of armored vehicles is unique. These cars are designed for special tasks, so the production process should exclude any mistakes. Each batch of armored plate and glass arriving at the plant goes to the test site, where it is tested with military weapons. And here you can see the results of testing the power of armored vehicles. Here is a fragment of a car window. Here was one shot with an armor-piercing incendiary cartridge from a sniper rifle, and the glass remained intact. In this area, 10 shots from a Kalashnikov assault rifle were inflicted, and still the glass withstood. In these fragments, we see bullet holes. These were also shots from sniper rifles. There is double armor of the car. Its first part was pierced, and the second part remained intact. Here is a fragment of a car window. Shots from sniper rifles with an armor-piercing incendiary bullet were also inflicted here. And the glass remained intact on the reverse side, while the crew would have survived in a real situation. Crew safety is a priority in the production of these vehicles. Knowing the laws of physics and mechanics, the developers figured out how to maximize the safety of passengers even under the most severe external influences. This machine is unique in the structure of the capsule. This is a V-shaped bottom that protects against blasting. If a car hits a mine within 8 to 10 kilograms, you have a fairly high chance of survival. Also, for high cross-country ability, It has rather large wheels of 16p20 size. For example, imagine your passenger car which is in your garage, weighing 1 ton, and so these 4 wheels, which are installed in this car, are equal to this weight. Indeed, the size of these giants is impressive. The car itself is designed for 10 crew members. Despite their size, these vehicles are very maneuverable and comfortable. The computer equipment installed in the car allows the soldiers and the crew to stay inside the car quite comfortably. At temperatures from -50 to +50 Celsius, the soldiers will be fine. The peculiarity of this machine is that both the troop compartment, the driver and commander are protected from the shock wave. That is, when the blast wave hits, the installed floating floor will also protect the legs, thus excluding the knee joints damage. Every part of this car is a unique engineering development. Such machines are designed to operate in different situations, climatic and natural conditions. Therefore, the designers have thought through every detail here, up to how this car would ride on different surfaces. We can release or increase the pressure in the car, in the tires. That is, when we are driving on the sand, if we take a civilian car, then we need to get out, open the valves, relieve pressure, and so on. A lot of inconveniences. And here in real time, when we see snow or sand ahead, we release the pressure, and the pressure area on the ground becomes much larger, and the car already passes this obstacle much easier. After the car capsule has passed the rust-proofing and polishing process, it is sent for painting and drying. As soon as the body is dry, it goes to the assembly workshop. Engine, wheels, transmission, electrical equipment, air conditioning, power steering, and much more are installed into the vehicle. Then the car gets its final form. At one point, I wondered what a person feels when he is inside such a car, and I was allowed to conduct a small test drive of this giant, only as a passenger. Well, now is the culmination of this block of the program because I had the opportunity to ride one of these beauties. Power is immediately felt because the door weighs several hundred kilograms. Let's go! This car weighs 7 tons. Its engine capacity is 7 liters. It can accelerate to 180 kilometers per hour with such volumes and dimensions. Indeed, in this car you feel protected. It is brand new. It's nice that it is assembled in Kazakhstan. Because everything is thought out in the car, everything is neat. There is a control facility. In the back, you can see the control panel for the tool, which is installed at the top.
Орудие, которое установлено наверху.
To drive this car, the driver undergoes special training. You can cope with such a monster only if you have some experience. But when performing a task, this car is a reliable and irreplaceable assistant. We're fully responsible for the further operation of the car. We also have warranty obligations to the consumer. We provide service after the delivery of our machines, and we're fully responsible for our product. The main advantage of our plant is that we are a domestic producer. The second is innovation. Nobody has done this before us. Globally, the structure of such a capsule is generally an innovation in military engineering.
До нас никого не было такого, и по миру Строение этой капсулы является вообще инновацией в военном машиностроении.
The production of military armored vehicles is a completely new word in Kazakhstan's mechanical engineering. Today, the products of this enterprise are in demand in Russia, other CIS countries, China, in the Middle East, and Jordan. The production capacity of the plant is about 120 vehicles per year. And behold, I got to the final location of this episode. Have I kept statistics on its size? Yes, this enterprise covers the area of 20,000 square meters. But despite such dimensions, it does not need a proving ground. The landfill of this enterprise is the whole of Kazakhstan and individual CIS countries, on the railways of which locomotives produced at this plant under the brand Made in Kazakhstan travel. Locomotive today is one of the most demanded modes of transportation. For countries that do not have access to the sea, the transportation of goods by rail is the most suitable way out. The same can be said for passenger transportation. Kazakhstan has a large territory, and therefore it was decided to create its own production of locomotives in the country. This is a modern plant that assembles new generation locomotives. Talking about our locomotives, to this day there is probably no such type of locomotives on the territory of the post-Soviet space. So where does the production of these powerful tractors begin? First, the material arrives at the plant. These are large metal sheets, but they must go through several processing workshops to turn into a locomotive. The whole plant works like one big machine. There are 9 workshops here, and each workshop has its own task. To get an approximate understanding of what process is going on here, imagine that in shop 9, this metal sheet, judging by its thickness, will most likely already be the cabin of a new locomotive. This plant began its work in July 2009, and in December, the first locomotive produced here got on the rails. The production line of this enterprise has been expanding every year. Today, this plant has a full cycle of locomotive production, from iron sheets to final products. We started from the very skeleton. This is a platform, a diesel locomotive frame. This was the first development. Further, in 2012, we began to master the body. These are cabins, compartments, a radiator compartment, and an equipment rack. That is, a certain skeleton of the locomotive itself was formed. Since 2013, we have begun to master wiring, electrical parts, low voltage and high voltage. Next comes the final assembly. The design capacity of this plant is 100 locomotives per year. Most of the tractors run on the railways within Kazakhstan, but the products of this enterprise are in demand abroad as well. Our plant has produced about 400 locomotives. Of these, we have produced 35 locomotives for export. For example, last year we produced 12 locomotives for Moldova and 10 locomotives for Azerbaijan. Every day, tens of tons of metal products are processed here into locomotive components. Just imagine that the company's employees produce 11,000 different parts for future tractors, including complex ones. Let's say the task is to cut a metal bar 3 or 4 centimeters thick.
Металлический брус толщиной в 3 или 4 сантиметра.
If you do it manually, it will take several hours of hard work. But let's say a gas-cutting machine will do it in just a few minutes.
Всего за несколько минут.
Metal cutting takes place according to the parameters set by the designers. The powerful machine cuts thick sheets of metal like fabric. When the metal is cut, it goes to various machines where it takes shape. Thus, iron products become parts of the future locomotive. Just imagine how much metal is needed for a locomotive of its final weight, together with 2 cabins, an engine, and a generator, as well as wheels, water, heat, and power supply systems, is 138 tons. Then the cut parts go to the welding workshop. Factory workers weld them to each other. Thus, the sheets of metal begin to take on the first signs of a locomotive. When moving from shop to shop, one can see how individual fragments of metal gradually begin to form the cabin of the future locomotive.
Будущего локомотива. Пока она
While it is here in this rough form, but very soon it will take its shape. As soon as the cabin is ready, it goes to the paint shop. Then the cab is equipped with all the necessary electronics and control systems. This massive iron structure is the platform of the future locomotive. This platform is assembled separately from the cab. When this platform is finally ready, it will be screwed on, put on a special trolley which is already on wheels, and then it will be mounted on this platform from both sides of the cabin, because the locomotive travels in different directions, as well as the engine and generator.
ездит в разные стороны. И двигатель и генератор.
One of the most difficult parts of the production is moving the platform. To put it on the rails, the platform must be turned over. This work is done with extreme caution since it weighs more than 30 tons, and the slightest mistake can result in big losses for the company. The locomotive has the same legs. These are wheels that spin. There is the skeleton itself. This is the frame. We have just seen the platform, which is the backbone of the locomotive. There is a brain, software. The enterprise staff is especially proud of this product unit. In their professional language, it is called a cart. This is such a foundation that already stands on wheels. And you can see that shock absorbers are connected to it. So a platform will be placed on this cart, and then 2 cabins, a generator, and an engine will be mounted on it. So why are the employees of the plant proud of this product? The point is that this cart is made of very thick metal. It is very difficult to work with it, and great requirements are imposed on it as an export product. The enterprise staff cope with these tasks and create such carts without the slightest remarks.
Тележки без малейших замечаний.
When all the constituent parts of the locomotive are ready, they are assembled on the platform. Specialists install the cab, engine, and other compartments, check the operation of electronics and other systems. If everything works smoothly, the locomotive can be put on the rails. Now we can say that this is our national local product. And of course, this is pride. Because when you enter the walls of this enterprise, you understand that such a locomotive is obtained from ordinary metal sheets. This is not some kind of screwdriver assembly, as many think. This is the entire production cycle. We are very proud. We have already shown the quality of our products. We see this in the quality of the locomotives. Kyrgyzstan was interested and locomotives were sold there. Tajikistan, many CIS countries are provided with all railways and freight locomotives.
В рядах СНГ вот все железные дороги, можем сказать, что грузовыми локомотивами обеспечат именно наши продукты.
And behold, this is the crown of human creation. The miracle of engineering is a locomotive created under the Made in Kazakhstan brand, ready to stand on the rails and connect cities, countries, human destinies, or deliver millions of tons of cargo to its destination. Subscribe to the Kazakh TV channel on YouTube, write comments, like, and be sure to click on the bell so you don't miss new episodes. It was the Made in Kazakhstan project. My name is Anton Fedorov, and I'll see you in the next episode.